is Laura, and I'm going to show you how to make goat's milk soap today. So these are all the ingredients that you will need. You will need several different oils. I use olive oil and coconut oil. There are many other oils you can use. You can use avocado oil, grapeseed oil, cocoa butter, just name a few. There's a lot. You also need distilled water, plastic wrap, latex gloves, some protective eyewear, a scale, 2 different glass measuring devices, whatever scents you want to put in. Today I'm going to do lavender and lemongrass, an immersion blender, and then I like to have something to set it in so that you don't make a mess. Some goat's milk. This we actually happened to get at the farmer's market this morning, and the goat was just milked yesterday, so that's fun. A spatula. I like this one because the plastic goes all the way up, so you're not going to get the lye in here that you're going to use later. And then lye. You're going to also need a couple of towels, some molds. These molds are pretty small, so I have 4 of them. I have several that are bigger, and those I only use 3 to make a batch. And then something to mix it all in, preferably plastic. So here's all of my equipment. And then over here on my workspace, I will get started. Alright, so the first thing to do is to get your surface ready. So over there I put my towel with my molds already out. Next, take your large bowl, or else you can use a plastic dish tub, and put it on your scale. And tear it off. Then you're going to put all of your liquid oils into the container. You always want to shoot for 64 ounces of oils. So today I'm going to do 48 of olive oil and 16 of coconut oil. This is the combination that I found that I like the best, just because it makes a good solid bar of soap, and the coconut oil is what creates really good lather. So if you want it to lather, you always have to put coconut oil into it. You can do a just olive oil soap, and that's called a Castile soap. Good for very sensitive skin. You can even use it on babies. 48 exactly. Alright, so coconut oil is a solid soap, so we're not going to put that one in, or I'm sorry, a solid oil. So we're not going to put that in yet. So that's all of my liquid oil. So I'm going to tear this off again, and I'm going to add my goat's milk. So I'm putting in 10 ounces of goat's milk. I might want to shake this up. I've never actually had some fresh from the goat. You can find this at your local grocery store also. Did I say 10 ounces? Alright. It's a bit over, but that's alright. Alright, so now you're going to use your immersion blender to blend the liquid oil and the milk together. That will keep the goat's milk from burning once the lye gets in there, if it gets blended together really well. I guess kind of think of it as making a mayonnaise or something. Alright, so that's mixed together really well. Now you're going to bring back your scale and add your solid oils. Tear it off again. Alright. And I'm going to put in 16 ounces of coconut oil. Oh, and it's a warm day, so this is more liquid than it normally is. Sometimes in the winter we have to microwave this to get it to come out. My mom and I like to make this together a lot. We use it as Christmas gifts for like coworkers and things. So big containers of oil like this, I buy at Costco, so you can get it for much cheaper. You don't have to use extra virgin olive oil. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it just because it's so much more expensive. You just use plain. So now your goat's milk and all your oils are ready. If you're going to put any add-ins or any essential oils in, measure them out now. Don't put them in. I did that once. So, if you put in scents with essential oils, I always shoot for about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of scent. If you like things that are stronger scented, put in the full 2 ounces. I don't like things quite that strong, so I usually do 1.5 ounces. With lavender and lemongrass, lavender is the fainter scent, so I'm going to put a full ounce of that in. And this is already measured into a full ounce, so I don't need to measure that. Lemongrass I'm going to put in the half. So those are ready for later. Things that you can use as add-ins would be like lemon zest would go well with something like this. I wouldn't really recommend flowers because they will probably burn once you put the lye in. But if you were going to do any spices like cinnamon or cocoa, I've put coffee in, any of that kind of stuff. That's what you want to measure right now. Okay. So we have all of my essential oils measured out. Now, get out your large glass measure. And we're going to measure our water. So you always use 8 ounces of water and distilled water. And next is when you're going to measure out your lye. So before you measure out your lye, first I'm going to clean all the oil off of this because I'm going to use this to mix my water and lye solution together. Wear long sleeves to protect your skin. I have on an apron to kind of protect my clothes. Before I actually open the container, I'll put on my gloves and my protective eye equipment. Alright, I'm safe. So now I'm going to measure out my lye. To figure out how much lye you need, you can just go online and find a lye calculator, and that you would plug in how much of each oils you're going to use, and then it'll tell you exactly how much lye you need. So for this, I need 9.05 ounces of lye. In case you're wondering why I'm being so cautious with all this, it is a corrosive material. And you can find it at any science store. This we got at the Science Company. Alright, so now we're going to mix our lye and water together, and you're always going to mix the lye into the water, never the water into the lye. And then you stir it until it is no longer cloudy. And this is a chemical reaction that's going to happen here, so it will get really hot. You will be able to feel it on the glass here, so that's why you want to use glass containers here, not plastic. So you can see it's incredibly cloudy right now. Oh yeah, it's already getting really warm. And it doesn't ever get clear, but you will be able to see the spatula better through it. This takes about a minute. So supposedly this will make some fumes, and sometimes this can bother people. I'm pregnant and I don't even really notice. So, I mean, if you want to, you can do this part outside or by an open window. Alright, I'd say we're getting pretty good. We're not as cloudy as it was. Got that milky color. Alright, so you do have lye on your spatula now, so be careful not to drip it all over the place. You notice I have my cheap tablecloth here to kind of protect my counter. So I'm going to put that directly into the sink. Now I've got my oils and my goat's milk. And I'm going to carefully pour my lye into my oil solution here. And again, this has lye in it. So Make sure you're not going to drip all over the place. Put it into the sink. Alright, so now I'm going to use my immersion blender again to blend the oil and the lye together. You're going to do it until it's called, it makes a trace. So if you are used to cooking, if you're making like a pudding or a gravy, once it gets to that thick point where you can kind of swirl it around and there's like a trail that follows it, that's when you know it's ready. This could take anywhere up to 10 minutes depending on what oils you use. You can see already the color's getting different. You'll notice the coconut oil, the solid parts will start to melt into the lye. You start to see it's getting a little thicker. We still got a ways to go though. Alright, we're finally about to the point where you can make a trace. You can kind of see there's a line. Stands up a little bit. I'll put my immersion blender in here for a moment. And now this is when you put your add-ins in. Here goes my essential oils. And I do have to say, if you've ever seen the movie Fight Club and you get lye on your skin, do not put oil on it because it will cause it to burn hotter. Flush it with water for 15 minutes and just like you would any other chemical agent. So let's stir this together. So yay for technology with this immersion blender, because I did blend this for quite a while. And back in the day, people just had to use a spatula and stir it till it got this thick. Alright, so next, be very careful because this is very hot. We're going to take this over to where my molds are, and we're going to pour it in our molds. Alright, so I have my spatula back. And then we're going to pour the soap in the molds. Maybe I only want 3 of these. You want to use your good towels for around these. These are just old ones. I'm just going to use a spatula to try and get it in all the corners. You're getting the soap into all the corners. Making it nice and slow. This will be the bottom of your soap. So there's lots of different scents you can do with these. You can get really creative with it. What are some, I do lavender lemongrass is actually one of my probably most popular ones for people. The nice thing about it is it's kind of a co-ed scent. Both males and females can use it. Yeah, I do have enough for this last one. I've done eucalyptus peppermint, which is nice because it can kind of clear out your sinuses. It's kind of like a Vicks smelling. I've done peppermint mocha. That's when I've used coffee before. And then that one I did use cocoa butter to get the chocolate smell into there. Because yes, just pure unrefined cocoa butter does smell like chocolate. That one was kind of hard to resist though. It smelled like brownies as it was setting up. What else have I made? I've done rose vanilla. I've done just plain lemongrass. I've done just plain vanilla. I've done honey oatmeal. That one's really nice. And then with that one I sprinkle some blended up oats on the top. Kind of makes it exfoliating. And then next we're going to put plastic wrap over the tops of these. So where do I get the molds? You can get them just at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but they tend to just have pretty much you can find wedding ones or baby shower ones, and in this case this was nice because I'm giving these away as baby shower gifts. But if you want cooler ones, look online. There's a really good website called Majestic Mountain Sage. It's at thesage.com. You can get anything you might need for making soap on that website. That's where I've gotten most of my molds. You can find the essential oils much cheaper at that website than you can like at any other store you would go to, because since you're getting a full ounce, it can get kind of expensive. You can also order any sort of oils that you want to from there. Palm oil is another one that you could use. I mean, that's where I got my cocoa butter, because that's not something you can just kind of find around. The downside of ordering oils online is they're heavy, so the shipping gets kind of expensive. And the Sage also has the lye calculator on there. I'll put a link in the description of this video to that website. It is in Utah, so if you happen to live in Utah, you can just go pick it up. I'm gonna move all my lye to the sink. Now we're going to get this ready to cook. You need to put this on a surface that you don't mind giving up for about 12 hours. Because now there's a chemical reaction happening between the oils and the lye. It takes about 12 hours for it to complete. You'll know it's done when it's no longer hot. So the lye is essentially cooking all of the oils. So we're going to wrap up this with first towel. So if you have small children or cats, make sure this is going to be someplace that they're not going to get into. You don't want your cat jumping up on top of this, that'd make a huge mess. Cover this with quite a few towels. Just to keep all the heat in. Kind of protect it a little bit. Like I said, these are just old towels. I'm just going to push these back from the edge, keep them safe. You might get tired of wearing goggles and gloves, but don't forget you still have all that stuff with lye sitting in your sink, so don't take it off until it's all clean. So now this, you just leave for a minimum of 12 hours. It's Sunday at 4 o'clock. I probably won't get back to these until after work tomorrow, which will probably be about 7, which is fine. If they stay longer, that's fine. And so we will see that part. Okay, so here's the soap after it is solidified here. So just a little tip on how to get it out of these molds easily. I stuck these in the freezer overnight so that it would shrink down just enough, and then all you have to do is pop it out like an ice cube tray. And it comes out nice and solid like that. That way you don't break any of the edges or anything. And then once you do that, you do want it to defrost it before you cut it. And then you just cut along the edges here. So, just take a sharp knife, and since I do this fairly regularly, I use the same knife every time. And just with some nice even pressure, cut it into your bar of soap. And bring it nice and close so you can kind of see it's a little bit different colors on the edges. The next step would be to let this cure, so just kind of set it out to air dry for a little while, and then that should even up all the color. It'll get the last of the water evaporated out of there, and it will be done. So then, as far as packaging type things go, what I like to do is buy these little tiny cellophane gift bags and these little ties to go on it. And the reason why I made these was for my baby shower. So I have little ducky soaps here. And so then I'm going to just put each one in a little bag and tie them off with this. It's kind of like raffia. used to do this from when I make soap for Christmas presents for my coworkers. And I package it the same way. This makes it really cute. And this is a cheap way to package it. So I'm just going to go through and cut the rest of these, and that's how you make soap. If you have any questions about any of this, just go ahead and put it in the comments section, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Thank you for watching this How to Make Goat's Milk Soap video. Thank you very much.